What's are you in the one of? Probably parents with a child with a rare terminal genetic disease called Krabbe disease. Our two older children didn't have it, but at 20 months, our son started losing all of his abilities in a matter of weeks. He was diagnosed with this horrible disease, and he is fighting to survive undergoing a stem cell transplant to prolong his life. I hate all of this. Outside of keeping him as happy and comfortable as possible, our goal is to spread awareness for this disease that we didn't have. He has a page if you want to follow his journey. It's called Prayers for Arthur, Hope for a Cure. I was out camping with friends and just got this weird gut feeling that I was being watched. So I turned on my flashlight and swung it around. Lo and behold, about 2 feet away from my face, was a mountain lion whose eyes I saw get dilated from my flashlight blinding its face. It proceeded to run over my sleeping bag into the trees, never to be seen again. All my friends screaming at the same time as me probably helped. That was the first and only time I experienced fear. My stomach felt like it turned upside down. Probably not in the 1% of anything, but I am an ambidextrous that can write with both hands at the same time, upside down with one, right side up with the other, backwards with one, forwards with the other, write in German in one hand and English in another, but that part is hard and makes my brain hurt. And I am trying to write 2 different things on 2 different papers at work. Not one material, but I think it's cool with F. I only discovered I can do this earlier this year. I once bowled over 5,300 games in a row in Wii Sports Bowling. Figured I'd stop when the line on the stats chart hits the ceiling. Spoiler keeps going. That flash game with the helicopter that's black and green and you have to hover between the obstacles? Once you get to a couple 100,000 points, it stops loading obstacles. I went for another few hours on a night watch. Eventually gave up. Forget the score. It was something quite stupid. Lol. I'm at her, surviving a crossbow to the head. Directly between the eyes. Only one other person has been documented in surviving a crossbow head impact, and they became brain dead. Not only did I survive, but I still have enough brain function to type this out and even go to work on a daily basis. I'm very blessed to be here, and I do my best to not take it for granted. Edit apparently more people have survived this than I originally knew, and that's kinda cool to know. According to Amazon, I'm in the top 1 of Kindle readers. They keep track of these things and within the last couple years started sharing the info with users as seasonal achievements. At the end of the spring season, they sent out emails with the final data from April 1st to June 31st. I read 74 days. For a total 193 hours. I don't really have a social life. As though that wasn't clear enough from the stats, I for sure am in the top 1 of smelliest farters. I mad one friend pull over to puke on the side of the road. My wife gags at them regularly. One of my children has been so traumatized by the smell of my ass if she is even a little sick she specifically reminds me that I am not to fart, because that one time I did while she was sick and she blew chunks. So yeah. Safe to say. Smelly farts. I'm Vegeta, the Prince of Nothing. A blue-collar worker with a bit of noble blood. My namesake was the Choctaw Chief, but they vote on leadership now. I'm related to Princess Diane. Another of my ancestors was a Danish princess who immigrated and became an American. It's all worthless really. My dad's a repairman and I'm a forklift driver. My fastest game of solitaire was 29 seconds and looking up stats that would put me in the top 1 if I had recorded it. Also having survived Guillain-Barré syndrome. That killed Alexander the Great, so I beat out him and he was great. When I was in ICU my dog was allowed to visit, and that's pretty rare too. Rare sinus cancer that very few people had and with low statistics on my chance of success for the treatments. Hopefully, I am not in the one that can lose sight due to radiotherapy or can develop a cancer due to the radiotherapy itself in 20 years. Doctor said the chances are 1, for real. Forza Horizon 4 players. Most things in the game have leaderboards and the most it'll actually show you is top 1 in the main menu. The actual percentage varies with each different one but they're all at least top 1. If I ran the math, some come out to top 0.1 which is insane. A lot of things. 1 of humanity is like 80 million people, so if I'm 80 millionth best at something, I'm top 1. So like, pretty much everyone is in the top 1 of all their hobbies except the exceptionally common ones like playing soccer. What a boring shitty answer. Sorry. I had a baby whale wash up on the beach in front of me in a remote area and successfully managed to get it swimming again and then guided it back out through the waves. I imagine a lot less than 1 of people have even touched a whale. This might be the most stereotypically Reddit response, but it's IQ. I was tested by a licensed psychologist and I scored in the 99.7th percentile, but I'm definitely not that smart. I'm just a good test taker, man shrugging. If not the only, I'd be one of the very few people who have ridden a bicycle across the country at age 16, solo no less, hiked the John Muir Trail, and graduated from high school and college in 3 years each. Degrees. I have a BA, MA, JD and 2 PhDs. This means I have more degrees than most people on Earth, don't know when to quit, make interesting but terrible life decisions and have tons of debt. Yeah, distance runners. My marathon PR is faster than 99 of marathon finishers worldwide. That said, the distance from my time to the world record is about the same as from the 70th percentile to me. Mine is running. I've run 5 marathons. Only about 1 of people have run 1 marathon. However, at population scale in the US that's about 35 million people. So it's not exactly unique. Not quite 1, but 3 of people worldwide have gray eyes, an even smaller amount has perfect vision. And even fewer than that have both iris layers perfectly distinguished. Cat ladies. My very first memory is of a cat on the floor with me while I was crawling. I'm 59 now. I have never been without a feline companion. Born on my mom's birthday. My sister was born on my father's birthday. My wife and her brother are also born on the same day but are not twins. It's more like 5, but I survived an aortic dissection. Basically me aorta popped. To top it off, I had a stroke during the surgery. You'll find me in the Venn diagram at the old, fat, sexless, jobless, single, but can pass a drug test, intersection. Around 1 of the population has run a marathon. I've run 35, which puts me in the top 1 of marathon runners for number of races. Being blue-eyed, left-handed and having vitiligo I'm most proud from my penile patch for sure puts me below 1 of population. 0.1% those who have broken their tailbone. Even smaller 1 of those who had it removed surgically after breaking it. Diarrhea. I have so many food allergies that I can queue it up on demand in different styles. If you test me you will fail. I believe in having lived a life that I 100 would not change. Not the bad things nor the great things. 0 regrets. I'm 72. One of bikers or outlaw bikers according to William Barry, former president of the American Motorcyclist Association AMA. Beekeepers in the US. There are an estimated 150,000 beekeepers and 330 million people in America. That puts me in the 0.05 group. The one of my high school graduation class that finished college early got a high-paying job in the house before turning 25. People who have officially had an asteroid named for them. Knowing personally at least 3 Nobel laureates. I'm part of the 1 of Americans who served in the United States military and today's all-volunteer force. I can move my ears by muscle. One can do that. At least at my grade school when I did that for show and tell. I have to be in the top 1 in terms of speed traveled and that I've broken the sound barrier backseat of a jet. I have an autoimmune disease that only 500,000 out of 330 million in the US have. That puts me in the top 0.1. I once had 3 strikeouts pitching and hit a home run in 12-inch slow pitch. That's some Ohtani type shit. Men with lupus. Rare enough, but I also carry chromosomal 47. Also known as having XX chromosomes. When I still played League of Legends I was in the top 0.5 of players. That counts for something, right? Left-handed since I was born, learned to be right-handed when I was a teenager. Now I'm an ambidextrous, having all the spine issues I have. It technically makes me part of 0.2 of the population, but still, I was born with drusen in my optic nerve. I'm fine. It hasn't caused any issues for me thankfully. At one time I was in the 1 club of Star Wars memorabilia owned but gave up, got too out of hand. Humans, red-haired, blue-eyed. I think it was like 1 of the population that had those together. I'm in the top 1 of people who are me. More than 99.99% of people on Earth are not me. I have a condition known as synesthesia, basically the mixing of the senses so I see sound. I just googled top 1 income earners in US. I'm not in the 1 of income earners in the US. According to Steam, only 0.8 of players have the Rock God achievement in Civilization 6. I think I'm a top 1 whistler of music, not the loud get your attention type whistle. Top ranked Dance Dance Revolution players. I attend national tournaments occasionally. Genetics. A redhead with that blood and hazel eyes. I'm a walking recessive gene. Well, Australian, so our population makes up about 0.36 of the global population. Being cheerful and optimistic of the future of mankind. Kidding, we're fucked. I'm Canadian and American. So I actually am the thing I insist I'm nothing like. Fewer than one of Americans have completed a full marathon. I have completed 10. Last time I checked I was in the top 1 for Neanderthal variant on 23andMe lol. Until or unless self-checkout becomes a game show, the world will never know. According to the census, my town is 1 black. So that means it's just me. Part of the group of sperms that made it to the final lap towards the egg. A little less than 1, but heterochromia and my eyes are 2 different colors. Can bench 225. Not that impressive of a 1%, but apparently it is. I'm among the one of people that have lucid dreams multiple times a week. I've survived multiple saddle pulmonary embolisms over the past 4 years. A neuromuscular disease that affects far less than 1 of the population. I am in the one of people that can solve a Rubik's Cube in 20 seconds. Having epilepsy controlled, autism, and a rare learning disorder. Height. I'm 6 feet 5 inches in the 99th percentile from male height is 6 feet 3 inches. 5. I'm in the one of millennials whose dad came back with the milk. Top 1 income earners of Burundi, except I don't live in Burundi. Worked for someone who won that price you get in Stockholm. People in my house that can properly load the dishwasher. Penis size. Mine is one of the size of everyone else's. I'm a redhead, so that's close to 1 in hair color.